What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, NVIDIA, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I want to break down some very important levels and zones to watch for. And I'll just look in my personal opinion. Please note that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, when it comes to the way the market's moving, I just want to mention that we have these very, very tough resistance zones, especially at this 562 to 563 area for SPY. And this is going to be a very, very tough area. We're going to be watching to see if we can break this or not. And then we'll see how this ends up moving, at least moving forward. So for data, we just got some bill auctions. It didn't cause anything too crazy. And we just have one more Fed speaker known as Bostic giving a speech later on for today. Besides that, tomorrow is going to be Friday and we have some PCE data reports coming out. So it's going to be very important. That's going to be very, very huge for the markets, especially for understanding the potential rate projections for the Fed, if they're going to be cutting by more or less. So that's going to be very important. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot else that's coming out for the markets besides us watching these levels. So now SPY is at this very, very key zone. Notice that the last time we hit 563, we got this rejection. We had 563, just under 564 again on Monday. We got this rejection. We dipped all the way down to 559. And then we saw another move back up to 562, and then we got a rejection. So we do have a tendency of rejecting between 562 and 563. So I'm just trying to say it's a very, very tough resistance. If we manage to break through this, our next target is to be 564.6, very close to the all-time high. If we don't break this, we could be retracing back down to the 560 area. So just be very, very careful with SPY. We're at some tough resistance. PCE is going to be the next factor affecting whether or not we break this. So we'll just have to be very, very patient. Most likely, PCE is going to be decent as the data has been decent for inflation. The Fed is gaining a lot of confidence, but you never know what the move is going to be. So we're going to be watching this resistance just to see what the reaction is. If we don't hold above 562, we're going to be looking for a move back down to 560 eventually. If we do hold above this, we'll be looking at 563, and we'll see if we break that or not. Otherwise, we're just at some tough resistance, so just be very careful with SPY. For NVIDIA, we were down 7% yesterday, only to come back up. Now we're down only 3% for right now. NVIDIA has tough resistance in this 122 area. That's very close to our, well, actually, it's at 123. That's where our 50 EMA happens to be. But I would say this 122.8 area is the previous support becoming resistance that I called out. So 122.8 to 123 is kind of tough. We also have a support at 117. I think we're going to most likely shuffle between this range for some time. As long as we don't lose 117, we're going to be fine, and we're likely just going to be range bound on NVIDIA. For Bitcoin, we pumped all the way up towards our key EMAs around the 61,000 area. Breaking that opens the doors for this imbalance fill for 62,000, and projecting off this takes us back down to 60,000. For now, Bitcoin's testing some tough resistance around 61,000, and we're not really breaking through it nicely. So there's going to be a risk of us dipping a little bit lower. So you want to be a little bit careful with that, at least moving forward. For other factors out there, we also have ES. ES did a great job at holding up. We had a 5,650 as our resistance. And now the question is, can we break that or not? So notice that every time we get close to about 5660 to 5650, ES has been rejecting for the last couple of days. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections in that area. Our supports to watch for, it's going to be pivotal, is going to be the 20 EMA. 5625, as long as we're above that, we do favor the upper end of this range. And if we lose that, we're going back down to about 5600. So far, ES is doing a good job at holding up, but just note that the resistance we're testing is very, very tough. Tesla is shuffling right now in this area. We could redraw our lines, but one thing worth mentioning is that we want to see Tesla hold above 212 to turn back up, and also at this 215 area we have resistance. Tesla is currently shuffling at this 210 area, so we're at this resistance right over here. If we lose that, we're looking for 208 followed by 205 as our supports, and we have 210 as resistance alongside 212. So I'll be watching this just to see what kind of reaction we get. Tesla has done a good job so far. So be very, very patient to give this the time it needs. This is a tough resistance, and we'll see if this could break this or not. For NVIDIA, not NVIDIA, NQ, we have 19,700 as resistance, and we have 19,500 as support alongside 19,400. We're kind of stuck within this range, so I think we're going to be range bound for now. But if we manage to break 19,700, we're going to be looking for a big push for this imbalance fill towards 19,850. And if we don't break 19,700, we're looking for basically 19,500. So we're doing a good job so far at staying within the ranges. So we'll see what kind of move we get from here. For the QQQ, we're doing a good job at holding up. We're looking at 477 as resistance. If we break that, we're going back up to about 480. If we don't break the 477, so we're going to be looking for a move back down to 475. I think as of right now, we're kind of shuffling in this area. There is bullish momentum building, but we haven't broken key resistance yet at 477, so give this some time. For Aapl, we have resistance basically at 232. We have support at 230. We're kind of stuck in this range. I presume we're just going to remain range bound for now. To be bullish, you really want to hold above 232, but you want to be very patient nonetheless. We also have this gap to fill above, so it is possible Aapl tries to push to fill that gap, but give it some time, and we're going to have to see if we could hold above these levels. So if we hold above 232, I think we could push eventually to fill the gap at 234. If we don't hold above 232, we're at risk of tipping back down to 230. That's what I'm seeing for Aapl for the time being. For the IWM Russell 2000, I called out how we had this support right here where we did rebound off this to get to 220. Now 220 is going to be our resistance. If we break 220, we're looking for 221. If we reject off that, we're going to be coming back down to our trend line, which takes us to like 218. So we're kind of shuffling near 220. It just needs a little bit of time. For Coinbase, we're trying to rebound as well. We're basically looking for 197.7 as resistance, and also at this 200.5 area. We have support at 192.5. I think we could push closer to about 197 for coin, but it's going to be a tough resistance, so watch it carefully. Amazon's approaching resistance very close to 174.5. If we break that resistance, we're going up to 176. If not, we could be dipping back down. So watch 174.5. We could get closer to that. We'll see if you reject or not. Meta shuffling around 524, the same level I called out. If we break this, we're looking for 530. If not, we could be retracing to 520. We're kind of shuffling as well for this. For Microsoft, we have resistance basically at 420 and also at 423. We have support at 415. We're kind of stuck in between these levels. We did push towards 422 only to reject a little bit. So I'm going to be watching to see if we can maintain this structure. Can we try to get back above 420? If we don't do so, I think we could retrace to about 416. And then for Google, we're doing a good job at holding up, but we got to try to hold above 166.46. If we hold above that, we're looking for 168 potentially. If not, there's going to be a dip back down to 165. So far, it's doing a good job with our bullish momentum, and I think that this could build at least over time. So that being said, as far as the market goes, SPY is trying to hold above 562. It's doing a good job so far, but just know that, even if we do try to hold above this, we have to be careful. Just be very careful because historically we do reject off this area between 562 and 563. And it's a very, very tough resistance. So we'll give this the time it needs and see how this ends up developing. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours for another update. Until then, take care, be patient, watch your charts and your levels, and peace out.